And then about 20 minutes later, I was off the phone, and she turned around and she said, I'm sorry, I just want to tell you, I was not glaring at you. I just thought what you were talking about sounded so interesting. Are you writing a screenplay? So anyway, we had a lot of fun with it. Found treasure all over the bay. The kids were so excited. And then there was a big treasure trove of this like box like this, filled with all of these incredible coins, going back hundreds and hundreds of years, each one of them. And they looked remarkably to me like plastic, but the kids knew that they were authentic. And so they parsed out to each of the kids like 5 pieces of these like really incredibly valuable things. And then Wes was like, okay, that's enough. We're gonna give the rest to the homeless. And it's so sweet. It's so sweet. Maybe. And then I was like, wait a minute, how are you gonna do that? This is the last fucking thing I wanted to do was like go up to a homeless person. I give them like a box of useless plastic and be like, here you go, enjoy, dickhead. So we stopped off at the drop-in center and the kids were in the minivan and they were like looking out the window, and I took this thing and I went up to them. There's a small group of homeless people standing together, and I said, can you guys do me a favor? My kids think this is real treasure and they wanted to give it to people at the drop-in center, but will you just act like it's real treasure for a second? And also, I did put some real money in here. And they were very sweet about it. It worked out well, and the kids were very, they felt like they did something good. It was like I had this moment of being like, oh my God, that's so sweet. Oh, fuck, how was that? That's gonna go really badly. All right, thanks for the talk.
It sounds like you're doing an amazing job with your kids. They seem really kind.
They're getting sweet. Yeah. Hi.
Thank you for making this the best day ever.
Thank you for making it the best day ever.
And I was wondering, if Cass switched bodies with anybody, like any other character, who would it be, and what would that date be like?
What would the what be like?
What would that date be like, where Cass is another person? Like, what would happen?
Wait, did you say date or day?
Day. Unless he wants to, like,
I got
date
super
someone.
confused with your hypothetical.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna get picked.
I don't know. Maybe the Impala, because I've always wanted to have Sam and Randy.
Something about the Impala. Something about Dean and the Impala.
Yeah.
I think he just wants to drive it.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you know any other languages than English?
Not
Seriously?
really.
And if you were to learn one, which one would it be and why?
Well, I think that in my life, probably Spanish would be the most useful language to learn. I have like rudimentary construction Spanish that I picked up doing construction work. So I can manage to communicate a remarkably large number of things with construction Spanish, or at least I think I'm communicating something. And then I speak a little bit of Russian, but my Russian is очень плохо. I used to speak pretty, like I used to be able to have a conversation in Russian, but it's kind of atrophied. I haven't spoken Russian in a long time. I like the idea of learning Chinese. My kids are learning Chinese. And it's pretty cute. Good.
And I have
That reminds me of a story. So, sorry, this is like Tangent City today. So, my daughter, what did you just say, Kristen? Yeah. Someone said, oh yeah, today? So, my daughter was very tired. And when she gets very tired, she can be very frustrating because she can just like be inconsolable. It can be a situation where there's nothing that you can do right. Like she'll be like, I want my pacifier. You can be like, there's your pacifier. And she'll go, you pointed at my pacifier, now I can't touch it. It's like a real lose situation. So, we were coming out of this like burger and fry place, and there was this little outdoor seating area. And I was like, come on, Mason, we gotta go home, it's time to go. And we rounded the corner, and there was this gaggle of girls who were all like, oh my God, Misha Collins. And they all were like, can we take pictures? I was like, yeah, real quick, because I gotta run. And then Mason just stopped right there in front of them on the sidewalk. She crumpled to her knees, and she said, I wanna go. And I was like, I know, honey, I wanna go too, let's go. And she said, no, I wanna go. I said, I do too, let's go, please. And this girl's like, you know, what a weird family dynamic they have. And then I said, I want to go too. He said, I want to go, let's go. She said, no, stop saying that, I want to go. And I said, I don't know what you're saying, I don't understand. And she said, I want to go. And I said, okay. And she said, I want to go over there to the pet store. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, go! It's Chinese for dog. And she knew what she was doing. Tears streaming down her face, like, you're such a bad father for not. Anyway, I take it back. Their Chinese stuff is not cute at all. What language do you want to learn?
Well, probably French.
Probably French?
Or Italian, because that's two places I would most likely go.
I think that's wise. You know, the nice thing about French is it's lingua franca. Nobody knows what that means. Now the lingua franca really is English, right? Does anyone know that term? Can anyone fact check me on that term? I think lingua franca means like the language of the world, because at a certain point in the 1800s, not to school you, French was the language, the universal language. So if you wanted to learn a language that other people were going to know as well, you would learn French. But now that language has become English. Like English is the most common universal language. So ironically, now you can say that English is the lingua franca. Thank you for allowing me to prove myself right. So, excellent. Good choice. Or you can get an app, like a translate app, and skip the whole learning anything business. It's a waste of time. Great. Hi.
I want to know what was your favorite, like, did you like playing, like, when you just came? Like,
What? Is this a when Harry met Sally question? Where are you going with this?
I'm horrible at this.
You're making me very nervous right now. I usually don't fake it, if that's what you're asking.
Which one did you like to play better? When you just started the show, like...
Started to show?
When you just
She is
started
so red.
Supernatural, the cast that you play now, the 5
Great. Oh, which one did I like to play better? Okay. What did I like best when I first came? When I came all over the show,
Were you here to see any of Jake's panel earlier? Wasn't like there were so many times where he talked about, oh, well, there's already an email that came with me. So the whole day.
you know, we haven't had that scene. We should have that scene in the show. The scene where Cass like walks in on people copulating and he's like, Dean. Sam. It's time to go.
Oh my God.
That was pretty funny. I mean, I have to say that Cass is my favorite, don't I? I have to say that. It's Cass. Regular Cass. Boring, old, socially awkward Cass. Hi.
Hi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for making that not at all awkward. How's it going?
I'm good. My name's Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Misha. I'm a theater major in college.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna get peanut butter over here. So my question for you is, what advice do you have, considering that you did not go to drama school? What advice do you have for someone who wants to pursue a career in acting and in stage work or film work or any type of performing arts kind of work?
There's going to be very little that I can say about this that doesn't sound trite, but that's never stopped me before.
Nothing does.
I think so. There's this book called Freakonomics, and in Freakonomics they liken being a drug dealer to being an actor, in the sense that there are lots and lots and lots and lots of people who are drug dealers who make almost no money. Like they're just selling a joint here, a crack vial there. Just a little bit. They're not barely making, ends meet. But there's a few people who make a ton of money and do really well and drive around in Escalades and have, private jets and huge houses. They live the dream. It's great. It's great being a successful drug dealer. If you can get in on that, I would recommend it. But the same thing is actually kind of true with acting. Like if you look at the statistics on actually having a successful acting career where you're making a living, and by the way, this is not being like an A-lister, it's just making a decent living as an actor. It's really uncommon. It's remarkably uncommon. It is hard to get into the Screen Actors Guild. And once you do get into the Screen Actors Guild, only 5% of the members of the Screen Actors Guild make more than $10,000 a year or something like that. That's not a real stat, but it's something like that. Like it's remarkably few people that actually make any kind of living as actors in the Screen Actors Guild. So you have to be kind of crazy to do it. And you have to have this weird blind faith. And you have to just go after it and be okay with not landing the role, with not getting the job. The only way I struggled for a long time, like you could take Jared's approach, okay, which is just be walking in the mall and have somebody be like, I want you on my TV show for the rest of your life. That was basically his career path. So if that opportunity presents itself, I would do that. But barring that, like my path was actually really long. It took me, I was, getting roles here and there, but it took me a long time to get to the point where I was like actually making a decent living and had what I consider a career in this. And the only way I survived that decade, because it was about a decade, was by enjoying the process. So I went through a period where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I hate it. I'm going to auditions. I'm never getting the parts. It sucks. There's so much competition. And then I just said, you know what? If I'm going to keep doing this, I'm going to love every step of the way. I'm going to make it so that I can go to an audition and not get the part and feel like it was a win. And the only way to do that was to just make the process, the whole process itself, something that was satisfying in and of itself to me. So that's I think why I ended up having some success. There's all sorts of other factors that went into that, like luck and the like. But I could still be doing what I was doing before and be happy. And I think that that's critical. Because if you're like resisting the process, you're not gonna make it. It's not gonna be fun. It's just gonna suck. So that's one thing. And another piece of advice that I would have is just be like blindly naive and optimistic. Like just be totally unrealistic and allow yourself to jump into things that you have no business jumping into. When I first started acting, I was living in Washington, D.C., and I got a shitty old Honda, and I was driving almost 1,500 miles a week. I was driving all the way down to South Carolina and all the way up to Boston auditioning for things. And I was like, if I had the slightest chance at anything, I went for it. And wasn't letting anything, I was gonna make it like, at the very least, every step of the way, I'm gonna know that I tried my hardest. And sure, I'm not talented, sure, I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I'm trying. And I think that that's also a critical ingredient. Right? Trying is doing. Trying is doing, even if what you're doing sucks. Doesn't matter. Just keep trying. Okay. Thank you. Hey guys.
Hi buddy. How's it going? Really good. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Remarkably well. For somebody who's slept as little as I have.
Yeah? Late flight?
Early flight.
Early flight.
I was shooting last night, and then the only way I could get here in time to do the convention was there was a flight out of Seattle, but it was like a 4-hour, because of a lengthy border crossing drive from Vancouver to Seattle. So I basically got there just in time to get on a 5:50 flight this morning. And as I was getting on the flight, I was like, at least I'm going to sleep on this flight. So I took a sleeping pill and then didn't sleep. So I'm like this combination of like that grogginess that you get from having, self-drugged yourself and no sleep. It's great. So awesome. Thank you guys.
I think he loves you guys that much. So that's pretty amazing.
It's you, actually. I just didn't want to miss you. Hey guys, that Jason Mann's host is so much better, isn't it? Just if you have a chance, tweet something to that effect to Rich and Rob when you get around to it.
Or don't, it's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the one, the only